You didn't lose because you were wrong. You lost because you were right. In a way the market doesn't pay for. It's 9:37 a.m. You're staring at a 1-minute chart like it owes you rent, and the stock is doing exactly what you said it would do. Down. Lower highs, heavy tape. Bids stepping away. Your thesis is playing out in real time. And somehow, your P&L is red, not a little red. The kind of red that makes you feel personally disrespected. So you do the thing every trader does in that moment. You start arguing with reality. How am I losing if I'm right? Is my broker lagging? Did I click the wrong side? And the worst part, you're not confused because you're new. You're confused because this keeps happening. You catch direction and still manage to donate money to the market like it's a monthly subscription. So in this video, I'm going to give you the real answer. Why being right about direction can still lose, what that reveals about your process, and the 4-part framework that stops this from happening again. And near the end, I'll give you one rule that sounds almost insulting, like something a beginner would need, until you realize it's the exact line that separates "I'm right a lot" from "I get paid." Quick disclaimer. Most traders lose money. Trading is difficult. This is education, not financial advice. Past patterns don't guarantee future results, and risk management is survival. Now let's talk about the biggest lie trading teaches you. That the job is to be right. Because in trading, right is not a feeling. Right is a payout structure. And the market only pays for a very specific kind of right. Adafani, here's the problem in one sentence. Direction is only one of the 4 ways a trade can be wrong. You can nail direction and still lose because you were wrong about location, volatility, time behavior, your own execution under stress. And if you don't separate those, you'll spend years trying to improve your accuracy while your real leak stays untouched. Let me show you what this looks like in real life. A trader I'll call Devin takes a trade on a big earnings day. Stock gaps up pre-market, opens strong, and he's convinced the move is fake. He's not guessing. He's got reasons: weak guidance, sellers absorbing, broader market heavy. So he waits for the first push, and he shorts into it, and immediately he's right. The push stalls, wicks out, and price starts bleeding lower. Direction. Correct, but his P&L is down. Why? Because he shorted where everyone shorts, right in the middle of the noise, so his stop has to be tight to make the risk make sense. Then the stock does what earnings stocks do. It snaps back one last time, tags his stop by 12 cents, and then collapses another $2 without him. He doesn't lose because he read the market wrong. He loses because he placed a bet that required the market to behave politely, and the market doesn't care what would be polite. That's the first hidden pattern. Most right but lost trades are trades where you demanded a clean story from a messy instrument. You demanded that the move go your way without shaking you out. And that demand is not analysis, it's a fantasy contract. The second hidden pattern is even more brutal. When you're right about direction, your brain gets emotionally invested in being rewarded. So every little pullback feels unfair. And unfairness is gasoline for bad execution. This is where performance psychology matters, because the mind doesn't process "I'm right but down" as neutral information. It processes it as a threat to your competence. And the moment your identity gets involved, you stop managing a trade and start trying to restore status. You're not trading the setup anymore. You're trading the feeling of being disrespected. That's how a small, manageable loss turns into a messy sequence. You cut early because you don't want the market to take it from you. Or you move the stop too fast because you want to lock in your correctness. Or you size up because you feel owed. And you can be directionally right the whole time and still lose money because your behavior was wrong. Now here's where it gets worse. Being right about direction is actually dangerous because it rewards the part of you that wants certainty. It trains you to chase validation instead of execution. You'll start taking trades that make you feel smart, not trades that make you money. You'll start entering early because "I know this is going to roll." You'll start moving to break even because "I'm right, I shouldn't lose." And that one belief, if I'm right, I shouldn't lose, is the belief that quietly ruins traders because it makes you allergic to normal variance. A normal variance is the entry fee for any edge. So here's the framework that fixes this. I want you to stop asking, "Was I right?" and start asking 4 separate questions every single trade. A. Was my direction thesis valid? B. Was my entry location optimal for my stop? C. Was the instrument's volatility compatible with my risk plan? D. Did I execute my plan without emotional interference? Direction is only A. Most traders obsess over A and ignore B, C, and D, and then they wonder why their accuracy doesn't translate into profit. Let's break each one down fast with a practical fix. First, direction. Direction is the easiest part to be right about, because the market is often trending or mean reverting in a way that's visible. That's why you'll hear traders say, "I called it." Cool. Calling it is not the skill. Getting paid is the skill. So direction needs to be framed correctly. Direction is a probability, not a promise. A good trader doesn't believe the market will go down. A good trader believes, if I execute this pattern over a series, it has positive expectancy. That's not motivational talk. That's the mental stance that stops you from getting emotional about any single trade. Second, location. This is the most common reason you're right and still lose, because you entered at a price where your invalidation level is too close. Your stop is not a pain threshold. A stop is a logic boundary. It's the price where your reason for being in the trade is no longer true. So if you enter in a place where that boundary is 5 cents away, you are not trading your thesis, you are trading noise. Here's the fix for location. You don't place the stop where it feels safe. You place the entry where the stop can be logical. Let me say that again because it's backwards from how most people trade. The stop comes first. Then you find an entry that makes that stop reasonable. This is what professionals do even if they don't describe it like that. They identify the invalidation level, measure the distance, and then decide, is there a location where I can enter so that invalidation is far enough away to survive normal movement, but close enough that the risk is still acceptable? If not, no trade. And if you start doing this, something wild happens. You'll take fewer trades, and your right but lost problem drops immediately. Third, volatility. This is the one traders ignore until it humbles them. Volatility is the size of the ocean you're sailing on. If you bring a kayak into storm waves, it doesn't matter that you pointed the kayak in the right direction. You're still getting flipped. Some instruments, especially around news, earnings, openings, and illiquid moments, have volatility that makes tight stops suicidal. So here's the fix. Match stop size to the instrument's normal movement. If the stock normally moves 40 cents in a minute during the first 10 minutes, and you're using a 12-cent stop, you didn't choose good risk management. You chose high probability of getting tagged. This is where many traders confuse small risk with smart risk. Small risk is not automatically smart. Smart risk is risk that can survive the normal behavior of the market you're trading. And if you want a simple rule, if your stop is smaller than the average meaningless wiggle, your trade is built to fail. Fourth, execution. This is the part nobody wants to admit, because it's personal. Execution is where your hands betray your plan. And here's how it usually shows up. When you're right about direction, you see the trade go your way a little, and you panic because you don't trust it to keep going, so you take profit too early. Then the market continues without you. Then you re-enter late. Emotional, bigger size, worse location, and now you've converted a correct thesis into a chaotic sequence. That's not a market problem. That's a process problem. And the fix isn't be more disciplined. Mikey, the fix is to reduce decision points, because every decision point is a chance for emotion to hijack. So here's a protocol you can actually use. I call it the one decision trade. Before you enter, you decide exactly one thing you will do after entry. Only one. For example, I will do nothing until either my stop hits or my first target hits. Or, I will trail only after price closes beyond a level. Or, I will scale one time at a predefined point and then stop touching it. One decision. That's it. Because the traders who keep losing while being right are usually making 10 micro decisions under stress, and stress turns micro decisions into sabotage. Now let's tie this together with the most painful scenario, the classic stopped out, then it goes. This is the signature of a location plus volatility mismatch. You weren't wrong about direction. You were wrong about what the market needed to do before it could go in that direction. Price often has to sweep liquidity, test levels, and bait people out before it moves. So if you place your stop in the most obvious place, right where everyone else placed it, you created a trade that required you to be early and perfect. And early and perfect is not an edge. It's a lottery ticket. So what do you do instead? You build trades that can be slightly wrong at first. You build trades that can breathe. That's the whole game. The difference between amateur risk and professional risk is this. Amateur risk is, I want to lose as little as possible. Professional risk is, I want to survive long enough for my edge to play out. That's why so many traders are right and still lose. They're optimizing for comfort, not expectancy. Now I promised you one rule that feels insulting. Here it is. Stop grading trades by direction. Grade them by R. R is your risk unit. The distance from entry to stop. If you risk 1R and make 2R, that's a good trade. If you risk 1R and lose 1R, that's a normal trade. If you risk 1R and make half an R because you panicked, that's not being safe. That's bleeding expectancy, because the only reason an edge works is that winners are bigger than losers over a series. So when you cut winners early and take full-size losers, you can be directionally right a lot and still lose money consistently. And that's why this rule matters. Direction is emotional. R is objective. Direction makes you feel smart. R makes you profitable. So here's what I want you to do. Starting today, the next 10 trades you take, write down 4 lines. Direction thesis. Invalidation level. Volatility reality. Execution rule. And after the trade, don't write I was right or I was wrong. Write result in R. Did I follow the one decision? Yes, no. That's it. Because once you track trades this way, you'll discover the truth. You weren't right and unlucky. You were right and structurally fragile, and fragility is fixable. Now imagine trading with that fragility removed. You enter only where invalidation makes sense. You size so normal movement doesn't shake you out. You stop touching the trade every 30 seconds. And suddenly the market can do what it does, without turning you into a reaction machine. You won't feel that desperate need to be rewarded immediately. You'll feel something better. Patience with purpose. Because you're no longer trying to win every trade. You're trying to execute a business model. And that's what trading actually is. A business model that plays out over a series. If you want a clean final thought, it's this. The market doesn't pay you for being right about direction. It pays you for being right about the entire trade. So the next time you feel that rage, I called it and still lost, don't take it personally. Take it professionally. Ask which layer failed. Location, volatility, or execution. Fix that one layer, and you'll stop being the trader who's right all the time and start being the trader who gets paid.